Today on Public Eye News, an Oakland County physician pleads guilty to nearly $500,000 in insurance frauds, and later, Boeing withdraws its latest contract proposal with striking workers.
Our very own Andy Jordan will have your weather forecast for the next few days, and later Reed Hall will bring you today's NMU Sports Report. I'm Bradley Seaborg.
And I'm Bianca Kroll, and this is Public Eye News. A physician pleaded guilty to 8 felony counts of fraudulent disability insurance claims. Dr. Rihanna Fernari Brazil pleaded guilty Tuesday by lying to the insurance company about working as a physician. Brazil is a licensed osteopathic physician who has applied and receives disability insurance payments from Unum Life Insurance Company. Brazil was receiving over $400,000 in payments from 2017 to 2021. This was referred to the Attorney General by Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services. Brazil has pleaded guilty to 3 counts of false pretenses, $100,000 or more, 2 counts of false pretenses, $20,000 or more, and 2 counts of taxes and 1 count of insurance fraud. Brazil will be sentenced on November 25th at 10 a.m. And the MDHHS is contracting with Chest Health to provide an incentive manager solution that will be part of the state's Recovery Incentives pilot. This program provides evidence-based treatment that has motivational incentives to people living with substance use disorder. Elizabeth Hertel, MDHHS director, said that this allows Michigan to address the disorder and use the latest evidence-based tools in prevention. The program allows providers to have digital access to the management tool to support delivery of incentives. The digital delivery allows for secure and trackable reporting for the program.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed 17 new bills into law, working to expand healthcare access in rural areas of Michigan and protect home care workers' rights. Senate Bills 780 and 791 will allow the roughly 3,500 home care workers in Michigan to unionize, along with support for workforce development and expanded training. Senate Bill 701 amends restrictions on Michigan hospital funding, allowing more hospitals in rural areas to qualify for money and resources. Governor Whitmer praised the new wave of laws, saying, quote, "These bills will make a real difference in people's lives by expanding access to health care, protecting workers' rights, and putting money back in Michiganders' pockets," end quote. And Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has creatively used his expansive veto power to lock in a school funding increase for 400 years. The funding increase was originally written for the 2024-25, but Evers vetoed the 20 and the hyphen to lock in the bill until the year 24-25. Wisconsin's gubernatorial powers have been the source of controversy before. A 1990 amendment banned the governor from eliminating letters to create new words. A lawsuit lodged against Evers will argue that his veto was banned under the 1990 amendment, while Evers defends that the 1990 ruling did not cover vetoing digits to create new numbers. The Wisconsin Supreme Court has undone 3 of Evers' vetoes before, but justices were not clear on exactly what was allowed. And a food pantry in the small town of Marcellus, Michigan is proving that no matter how big or small your community is, there's always a way to help out. WSBT reporter Raylan Lee has more. Take a look.
It's a town of less than 1,100 people who have come together to help a town of less than 1,600. And it's the small town connection that makes this so special.
Love helping others. I feel that it's my calling.
Estella Salazar, president of the Marcellus Community Food Pantry, knows the feeling of being from a small town.
You can't go a mile without waving at somebody and somebody waving at you because they know each other.
Salazar has made it her mission to collect donations for Burnsville, North Carolina, a small town with a population just under 1,600. The inspiration comes from a special connection.
I have a connection there because my daughter lived there for 8 years. And her kids grew up there, and they are really shut off from everybody else right now with the hurricane. Asheville and all the bigger cities are getting all the help, where the small towns like Spruce Pine, Burnsville, Micahville are kind of left to their own devices.
Salazar loves lending a helping hand, whether it's donating her time or offering what she can for others.
You have to give. If you can afford to do it, just give. If you can't afford it, your time is very valuable, and that you can't give anything more valuable than your time and yourself.
Overall, Salazar tells me she's proud of her community as donations continue to roll in with things like a new generator, chainsaws, and everyday necessities.
We have come together Not just now, anytime there's a crisis, we have always banded together. We are just like one big family. Micaville, Spruce Pine, and Burnsville, we're here for you, we're praying, and we haven't forgotten you.
Some roads are still blocked to get into parts of North Carolina. Donations will be taken to Sevierville, Tennessee, then airlifted to Burnsville, North Carolina. Reporting in Cass County, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be back with your weather and national news after this break.
Oh no. This is a precarious situation. This really shows how desperate she is. She can't afford to go hungry any longer.
Oh, she jumps.
You've got company. These cubs are going to have to tread very carefully.
It's one of the most critical periods in a cub's life now. One of those cubs is going to get hurt worse.
Welcome back. I'm Andy Jordan, and I'll be taking you through our public eye weather report. Taking a look at our roof cam here, you can see the clouds have been rolling out, making room for some blue skies. Looking across the UP, lots of sun all around. In Houghton, it is 57 degrees. In Ironwood, 60 degrees. Iron Mountain, 61 degrees. In Menominee, 59 degrees. Taking a look at the east side of the map here, in Escanaba, 59 degrees. In Manistee, 57 degrees. In Sault Ste. Marie, 53 degrees and partly cloudy. And back here in Marquette, it is 54 degrees and mostly sunny. Looking at our current conditions, our winds are coming from the north at 9 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 30.15 inches and rising. And looking to tonight, you can expect clear skies with a low of 46 degrees with the winds coming from the southeast at 4 miles per hour with our moon phase at a waxing crescent. And looking to tomorrow, sunny skies with a high of 64 degrees, low of 42 with winds coming from the south-southwest at 12 miles per hour. And looking ahead, a lot of clouds. Friday, 66 degrees with a low of 52. Saturday, high of 56, low of 46. And Sunday, a high of 50 with a low of 44 with rainy conditions. And that is all I have for your weather report. Back to Brad and Bianca at the desk.
Thank you, Andy Jordan, for that weather update. It's looking pretty cloudy for this weekend, but hopefully the sun will poke through. Now moving on into national news. Boeing has withdrawn a contract offer to striking workers with 30% raises over 4 years. Union had not considered the proposals that Boeing offered seriously and made non-negotiable demands. Union had originally demanded 40% for over 3 years, while Boeing's first offer was 25% raises. Boeing said in a statement, quote, "Given that position, further negotiations do not make sense at this point, and our offer has been withdrawn," end quote. Union had complained that Boeing publicized the offer to striking workers without bargaining with the union negotiators. The union also surveyed its members about the offer, and many had rejected the recent offer. The strike now has led Boeing to other issues within. Production has been shut down, and S&P Global Ratings put Boeing on the Credit Watch negative list. And Melinda French Gates will grant women's health with $250 million in support. Gates made this announcement on Wednesday in her new chapter of individual philanthropy. This new call will give at least 100 nonprofit organizations between $100 million and $5 million in unrestricted funding. This will also focus on interventions related to women's health, such as mental health and menopause. Initially, her motto was to focus on a scaling solution with minimum commitment from donors. Now it's expanding to those who are interested in the scaling field. Gates also wants to work towards protecting women's rights and advance their power and influence. Gates also wants to broaden her focus on more than one single thing and point more towards underfunded organizations. As Hurricane Milton approaches landfall, communities are preparing in whatever ways they can. These as evacuations are also underway throughout the state. WPEZ reporter Bent has more.
Martin County Fire Rescue is leaving nothing to chance. As Hurricane Milton edges closer, they're gearing up to deploy high water vehicles like this one.
So you can see where the muffler system is on this truck. Everything on this sits high, so the water levels we could go potentially up to here.
They let us ride along to see these massive trucks in action.
Now the brakes on these are really hard, so you might feel
These trucks are built to drive through several feet of water, allowing crews to reach homes and neighborhoods cut off by floodwaters.
Flooding right now is our biggest concern because we're already saturated and we're already getting rain.
Green River Parkway shut down from Jensen Beach Boulevard north into St. Lucie County Tuesday.
I've seen flooding a lot of times before through Irma and Ian and all that. I mean, it could get a couple of feet more, but really what can you do about it? You know, there's not much you can do about it.
While the forecast could still change, county leaders aren't waiting to find out.
As it comes through, we won't have any time tomorrow to make other decisions. So we're preparing for Hurricane Gus and also potentially preparing for sustained hurricane winds.
During an urgent press conference Tuesday, officials announced a total of 4 shelters will be opening Wednesday, including a pet-friendly shelter and one for special needs. Meanwhile, fire rescue has all vehicles stocked, fueled, and ready to go as Hurricane Milton moves in.
We'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm Reed Hall, here to take you through our Public Eye News sports breakdown. Starting things off on the gridiron, the New York Jets have announced former head coach Robert Saleh has been fired. Jets owner Woody Johnson cited performance issues as a cause for the change, as Saleh started the team off to a 2-3 record and a 20-36 record since he became head coach in 2021. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will serve as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. New York will now look to do the impossible, as no team has ever made the playoffs after hiring their coach mid-season. Saleh, a Dearborn native, was a 4-year starter and an all-conference tight end here at NMU, where he was teammates with current Wildcats head coach Shane Richardson. Saleh's nephew Adam is also a defensive back for the Cats. And moving over to the hardwood, where the NMU volleyball team is set to close out their 6-game homestand tomorrow. They'll play host to the much-despised Michigan Tech Huskies at 6:30 before taking on GLIAC newcomer Roosevelt on Friday night. The Huskies currently sit at 8-5 overall and 4-2 in conference play. The Cats had the Huskies numbered last season, going 2-1 in their head-to-head matchup. Roosevelt, in their inaugural season, are 1-13 and 0-6 in conference play, and will come into Friday on a 12-game losing streak. Your Cats enter the back half of the week at 9-4 and 5-1, good for second in the GLIAC. If you plan on attending Thursday's matchup against Tech, make sure to wear your green for mental health awareness. And staying here on campus, where the NMU men's basketball team is set to face Michigan State in a much-anticipated exhibition showdown. While the hardwood matchup should be one for the ages, the main focus lies on the return of NMU basketball legend Tom Izzo. NMU is set to retire Izzo's number 10 into the rafters of the Vandeman Arena in an announcement first broken by Izzo's lifelong best friend and former NMU championship quarterback Steve Mariucci. The Iron Mountain native was inducted into the NMU Sports Hall of Fame back in 1990. Tip-off for the Superior Dome Showdown is set for 1 p.m. on Sunday, October 13th. Parking for the event will open at 9 a.m. and is on a first-come, first-served basis. Doors to the arena will open at 11:30, and there will be no re-entry. That's all the sports I have for today. Back to the news desk.
Thanks for that sports update, Reed. Sure is a big weekend, pretty exciting. Michigan State coming to town. Is that something you can see yourself going to?
I wish I could, but I unfortunately missed out on purchasing tickets. But I heard you have another story for us.
Yeah, just one more for us. Bear 128 Grazer is this year's Fat Bear Week champion. The contest put on by Katmai National Park has voters pick the bear they feel is the fattest and best prepared for the Alaskan winter. Grazer defeated Bear 32 Chunk by over 40,000 votes in the final round, and the contest had attracted over 1.3 million votes throughout the tournament. Quite a contest there, eh? Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. I'm Bradley Seaborg.
And I'm Bianca Kroll.
And we will see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.